Can you see me? Can you hear me? Say hello in chat. Live chat rather than top chat. Okay, that was a bit of a nightmare, just trying to get live there. Had the old orientation trouble again. Not had that for a while. I found a procedure that worked, stuck to it, and today suddenly it didn't work. Did exactly the same as normal. What can you do? Okay, folks. Hello, Terence. Okay, I'll just have a sip of coffee while we wait and see if anybody else joins us, and then we'll begin. I've got a new sippy cup. First time trying it. And the coffee is still very hot. Oh! These insulated cups, they work too well. Okay, folks. This is TrampCast, episode 53, Sunday, January the 26th. Interestingly, when I was reading back last week's notes, I'd written December still. I had the actual number of the week right, but I wrote December. I've got no idea what I said in the actual show, in the actual program. I've got to go back and check that. I might have said it was December last week if I just read what was on the page. But it is Sunday, January the 26th, 2025. I did have the year written correctly last week, but not the month. I'm hoping I didn't embarrass myself and declare that it was December. The channel is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, that's me, or at least I play him on the internet. Down and out. A homeless, a tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person of no fixed abode. Some would say a bum, particularly the Americans. Someone who sleeps rough on the streets, or in my case, in a field. And Torrevieja, that's a city on the southeast coast of Spain. Again, the channel name, Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Okay, folks. Feel free to say hello in chat. I'll just, sometimes I have to manually check because it doesn't always pop up. So far it's just Terence saying hello. Say hello, folks, and let me know where you are in the world. And what's the weather like? Are you suffering storms like the UK were? Alpha, Beta and Gamma. Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot is where I was going with it all. It letters like that, but there we go. The NATO phonetic alphabet for radio comms, etc. Basically, DM is my initials, so I'm not really a Mike, but I play one on the internet. I play a Delta Mike. Okay, folks. So this is TrampCast, where we look at my life as a tramp or a hobo, a homeless person, a homeless Englishman trapped by circumstance in Spain. We look at my successes, my failures, and other happenings in my life here. West Europe, it's raining. Okay. Where are we talking? Are we Spain, Portugal, or maybe you don't want to be too specific? That's fair enough. I know that the south east coast of Spain or the east coast of Spain is currently getting battered by storms. Hopefully they don't make it this far, because this tent will not survive. Oh, a couple of things we haven't done so far. Let's see whether we can do them. Oh, first click never goes anywhere. More upward where the rain lives. Ireland, England, somewhere there. There's a Tina girl. There's my girl Tina. Hey babe. Say hello to the peoples. Yeah. And while we're there, we'll have a look. Last week I left the door open, and at the end of the TrampCast, I suddenly realised how cold I was once I went to stand up, and the circulation was restored to my legs, and I just could not get warm the rest of the night after that. So today I've closed the door, such as it is. It's not perfect, but there are 3 layers to it. I've got the outer one closed. There are 2 more that I can close if I need. And here, just for anyone who's new and hasn't seen, There's the top of the tent. There's a rip the entire length down the tent. There's no roof, just a tarpaulin thrown over the top because the poles are still in position. And this wall behind me is entirely gone as well. We've just got the window, the curtain. The wall that would have had a window in is gone. And yeah, there's just a tarp goes about 2/3 of the way down the wall. But it is as it is. There's a limit to what you can do about these things. We adapt, we overcome. A couple of tarps. The other end, one end of the tent where my bedroom is, I've got toll dust fabric from awnings. So where the tarpaulin ends, it overlaps over the top of 3 layers of waterproof awning to take the water down to the ground. To try to, some of it gets in. So that's where we are, folks. Okay, let's crack on. Let's make a start. We begin then, as we usually do, with a numbers round. This is our Jack Attack. Hello, my friend. How's the weather up in Scotland? I imagine raining because British Isles. Yeah, getting a plot of land would be nice, but that requires resources and yeah, sheds and shacks and things. Sometimes you require planning permission if they're of a permanent structure, if they stick into the ground, or if you have a foundation. Calm at the moment, light drizzle. I'm glad it's not too bad, my friend. Just let me have another sip of this, and I'll begin with the numbers round. Oh. These insulated cups, they keep the coffee too hot for too long. They burn just to drink. Cheers, Jack Attack. Okay, folks. As this is episode 53 of TrampCast, we'll do a quick round of facts about the number 53. There aren't that many, so it won't take long. The number 53 is a prime number. It is the 16th prime number. It's also a sexy prime. I think we've mentioned this once or twice before. A sexy prime's not what you think. It just means it's separated from another prime number by exactly 6. So 47 was a prime, 53 is a prime, and 59 is also a prime. So it forms 2 pairs of sexy primes. What did I just miss there? Cheapest apartment on Idea list is 3k in El Rebals. I don't even know where that is, Rebals. 3k? What, to buy an apartment? Or is that an annual rent? I don't know. Okay, sexy prime we just did. Usually we have an international direct dialing code, and this week is not an exception. The number 53 will get you Cuba. The number 53, Herbie the love bug, or beetle as we would call it in the UK. Herbie's racing number was 53. A $3,000 apartment to buy. Oh, that's going to be in a nice neighbourhood. Okay, I haven't got 3. Well, I haven't. I do have. I mean, I've got money in the bank. My bank just won't let me have it, so that's kind of off limits really. It won't work. Okay, Herbie the love bug, racing number 53. Apparently, here we got 2 facts about the US population. 53% of the United States is female. Or was it about the time that the numbers were compiled that I have access to? And of those 53% of the US population that's female, 53% of females have children. I presume this is 53% of adult females that have children. Okay, we're moving on. There aren't that many more to go at. In fact, just the one really with its subtopics. Number 53 on the periodic table. Iodine with the symbol I. A non-metallic solid. Tina girl. It is a Tina girl. Quiet, quiet. It's just a car going past. A non-metallic solid, and it's a halogen, which translates basically as a salt maker. When reacted with a metal, it will form a salt. Named after the ancient Greek for violet, because when it's melted, it becomes a violet liquid, and when it evaporates, when you warm it up a little bit more and it evaporates, it forms a violet gas. The main producers, Chile and Japan, and used, can I read my own writing? My pen was playing up at this point. It got all scratchy. What's that meant to say? I think it's meant to say it's used as a catalytic in making acetic acid, which is one of the constituents of vinegar, isn't it? 4% solution, at least, to be classed as a vinegar. I think that's what that was, although damned if I can read my own writing sometimes, folks. But the pen got all scratchy on that part of the page. That's my excuse, I'm sticking to it. It's used as part of a treatment for thyroid cancer and other radio scanning, like it binds to certain parts of the body and makes certain scans more contrast, more visible. Yeah, so there we go. Those were the facts for the number 53. Just a quick round for today. There's not a lot to say apparently about the number 53. Normally there'd be a bunch of Bible references or other religious references, but 53 doesn't seem to be there. Okay, as I said, this is episode 53 of TrampCast, and those were the facts about the number 53. So we move on. Next is the thank you round, and God, we had a cracker this week. I'll do them out of order. I'm going to go with the most significant first, I guess. So shout out to Adam and Mel, a couple of new friends that we made. I'll look into it. Hello, goodbye. I'll begin with Adam and Mel, who are new friends who turned up here at the Tramp camp. I think it was on the Monday this week. We'll get into the specifics of the week shortly. But they brought me, I think, this sippy cup, I think this second cup, I think that was from them, although I might be misremembering that one. They brought me a backup for my head torch, because I keep losing my head torch around the tent. So now I've got a second head torch. They brought me a couple of jackets. And the big one, the biggie, an electric blanket, which I think I mentioned in one of my Christmas or either the Christmas Eve, Boxing Day or New Year Trampcasts or the Trampcast specials I did over Christmas. I think I mentioned that I might get an electric blanket, and they actually turned up with one, which works nicely with my EcoFlow, as it turns out. It only draws 60 or 70 watts, yeah, I could run that for 2 or 3 hours from my EcoFlow if I was confident that there was going to be sun the next day. More on that later. If you saw my weather forecast rant earlier in the week, you'll know where I'm going to go with this. But they asked me if there was anything else I needed, and I explained that I was getting short on water. And I offered them some of my empty bottles, and they could take them and if they could take them and refill them for me. But because of the way they lived, they said it was easier just to go to the supermarket. And they asked me if there was anything else I wanted while I was there. I was short of coffee and... no, I wasn't short of coffee. I was short of sugar, sorry. And a couple of other bits and pieces. And they went and did me a mini shop. Brought me back some water, some sugar, and they added a dog bone to the equation for Tina there. So that was nice. Thank you very, very much, Adam and Mel. Keep digging. Hello, goodbye. See what you can find. Transport would be an issue, but I do have some friends with transport. Okay, where are we? So that was Adam and Mel. My friend Tom came round on Friday and he brought me 2 chicken dinners. He'd been to the market on Friday and got one of those cooked chickens. He portioned it up, I think, and made a couple of meals. This will be a theme for the week as well shortly. The amount I've been eating this week. But he brought me 2 chicken dinners in kind of Tupperware. Also, my friend Colleen came by on one day and she brought Tina a bone and also some chicken pizzas and croquettes, the dry dog food. Keep Tina in food, so that was great. Thank you very much both to Tom and to Colleen there for that. Yeah, it's fantastic. No PayPal this week, folks. Getting a little bit short, hence the I don't always put the begging link at the top of the chat but getting a bit low, so I thought I'd ask. Only if you've got it, only if you can spare it, only if you think I'm not a grifter that's just out for your cash. All the usual caveats. But yeah, those are the thank yous for this week. On to themes for the week for this episode 53. The themes for the week. The weather was a biggie, and kind of in a good way, sort of. We haven't had rain, or I think there's 5 minutes one night, and it was only really light. No real rain, no real wind to speak of. But the weather forecast, I mentioned last Sunday that the weather forecast was saying that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was going to be total cloud, no sun. Which, when you're running on solar power and trying to power an EcoFlow, a solar generator as some would call them, basically a big battery with an inverter. When you're running your life on solar and you think you're going to get 3 days with no sun, could be an issue. Except not in the end. There I was panicking and trying to salvage as much solar power each day as I could, and using as little as I could each day. 3 sunny days on the bounce. The third one wasn't as sunny as the others, but I only need a couple of hours. But if I start charging at 10, by 12 I'm fully topped up. Then I might run it down a little bit in the afternoon and do what I've had to do today. I was down to 90% again a little while ago. So I've had to move the panel over the other side of the field to catch the last hour and just see whether I can get a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a top up. So I was doing that most days, but because I was panicking, I didn't want to be starting at 90 or 85 going into the night. You want to be as close to 100% as you can. But the weather forecast just, I guess they spooked me a bit, saying 3 days on the trot. 1 day without, no problem. So a night, I could go a full day without, and the next night as well. Obviously at night, no sun. But I would have enough power to get through kind of a day and a half. 2 days might be a problem. 3 days, I would be out of power. So yeah, I had my weather forecast rant because of that on the, I think that was Tuesday midday or thereabouts, maybe just before. So other things, the mice were back this week. I think 2 different nights I had to chase them around the tent, and one of them, it was in the bloody bedroom. I could hear movement possible, but it could have just been the wind rippling the tent or things cooling down. You know, when boxes and bags, things just contract and you get a noise. But I lay there and I kind of hissed like a snake or like a cat, kind of hissing at them, and the bugger jumped down and ran across the floor and out of the bedroom. I'm smiling, but they annoyed the shit out of me. They're not healthy to have around because there's shit everywhere. Any food that they get hold of, and as far as I know, I haven't got anything that's lying around that would be of use to them, but they still come around about once a week or once every couple of weeks to investigate and search around. I'll pick, if I've got some carrier bags here, some shopping bags with with some food in, but it's tins or jars or, you know, that kind of thing. And you look in the bottom of the bag, and there's mouse poo in the bottom of the bag, but there was nothing there that they could have eaten. But they've got in, moved about, and got out. How do they get into a typical shopping bag's what, 18 inches high? How are they getting in and out? You got to admire the little buggers, which is why I give them the right smile, but I got to get some mouse traps eventually, haven't I? I've got to. And then we'll have the mental strain of taking life and killing things and all that goes with that. So the mice, that was a theme for the week. As I mentioned, power management, that pairs with the weather, as I've just discussed. We've had warmer nights this week. It's not been cold at night, so that's been a relief. That's been good. So yeah, those I guess are the main again, the thanks to the people that come along and that help. My new friends Adam and Mel, Tom that came by, and Colin. So obviously thank yous to the people that help. That's always that's always part of the running themes for the week, isn't it? When anybody goes out of the way to help me. Okay folks, I don't think it's going to be a long one this week. We're just 21 minutes in, and we're about to start the kind of the episode proper, the breakdown of the week. So shall we begin? Oh, quick sip of coffee before I do. It's still too hot. Next week I'll make it further behind. You know, I made this at about quarter to the hour, and I started on the hour. So I made it 15 minutes before I started. Next week I'll make it 20 or 25 minutes before. But these cups are so good. They can. This one's my new one's not quite as good as the old one in terms of insulation, I don't think. Tina girl, quiet. The other one, this one, which is also full and here is a backup. This one definitely keeps the drink piping hot for a good 2 hours plus. You know, after 2 hours I can still burn my mouth on that one. Which surprises you, because you put your mouth against the cup and the cup's cold, but then you pour the drink and you get a shock. Okay folks, let's begin. We're coming up on 23 minutes into TrampCast. We begin, as we often do, with last Sunday after TrampCast. So as I've already mentioned, after the stream, I didn't realise, because I got the door open and I was kind of, I guess the adrenaline or whatever, I know you won't believe it, but there is something kicks in while I'm doing this, and I don't really notice the state of my body. Sometimes I stand up and my legs are dead. I don't realise that there's been no blood flow for an hour or more. So last week I stood up and suddenly got this rush of cold as the blood in my legs kind of moved around properly, and because I was sat here in shorts, and I think I only had my t-shirt on, did I? I can't remember. But I was ice cold and couldn't get warm the rest of the night. If you remember last week, Tina was whimpering a bit through the TrampCast, so I figured she needed to go and do her business. So we went out and did a walk, and yeah, I was right. She needed it. we didn't get 2 feet out of the door before she let go. That's my girl. She's a poo factory sometimes. Yeah, and after that, basically. Dismantled this stand that I've got here where I'm broadcasting from. It's a laundry bin, it's a chopping board, there's an upturned container. I used to use a pan upside down, but I've got this plastic container now, and my phone and stand. Put everything back away. Things that are on the bed that are normally stored on this chair, bring them back through so I can get on the bed and get into bed. And fairly soon after, maybe within the hour, YouTube started offering me that episode of TrampCast that I'd just done. So I thought, yeah, why not? I'll have a look. And I quite enjoyed watching it back again. I usually do. Enjoy my own voice, it appears. And because it was a couple of hours long, that was Sunday night over, really. Fell asleep at 10 o'clock. Tina. Edward's in a place where it's snowing in Scotland. Jack attack was light drizzle, I think he said. Tina girl, let's show you off to the world again then, just to shut you up. I think she wants to be on camera. There she is. There's my girl. Hey babe, say hello to the peoples again. There's more people here now. Say hello. Tina girl. No, she's not really interested in you folks. But there's my girl, eh? But anyway, Sunday night, after I watched TrampCast, fell asleep 10 p.m. and woke at 2 a.m. That's a fairly common happening. I think the week previous I was staying awake until 4 and 5 in the morning, so I maybe just had a bit of sleep to catch up on. So I fell asleep, got my 4 hours in, and then that was me awake most of the rest of the night. Took her ladyship for a walk again at 2 a.m. That's a common occurrence as well nowadays. I don't know what I must look like to anybody driving past. I'm down the road here with my head torch on, shining away, and a dog who can't stay on her feet. Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, I was freezing cold, but I knew it wasn't cold. You know, kind of mental. I knew. Came back and checked the thermometer, and it was 9 degrees Celsius. So not cold at all. Not compared to when we were down to 3 and 4 degrees a couple of weeks ago. I mean, again, I was just out in my shorts walking the dog. But yeah, I was just cold even though I knew it wasn't. As I said, I was awake the rest of the night. Fell asleep about 6:30. That is becoming a real pattern. That is becoming a firm fixture now. Oh, Ian's coming out to Spain. Storm. He's in a storm area. I think the whole of the UK was in a storm area, wasn't it? Or was it just the north? When I can't remember the names of the two storms that followed each other one after the other. One was one Dara, and the other one was a Owen, something like that. But yeah, where was I? Falling asleep at 6:30. Oh god, and this was when Colleen came around. Not 6:30, but the next thing I knew, I fell asleep 6:30. The next thing I've been woken up by a voice directly outside the I've not heard her arrive or anything. She's at the door of the tent already. Reached the east coast. Okay. That's not good. So yeah, Colin's at the door, and I'm like fast asleep in bed when Tina kind of starts barking and growling, waking me up, and I can hear the voice kind of calling. And as I said in the thank you, she brought Tina a bone and some chopped up chicken and the dry dog food, the croquettes, or croquetas as they are in Spain. So that's a little bit embarrassing, having to be kind of dragged out of bed at 9:30 in the morning. But such is life. Straight away, I saw that it was a nice bright day, despite what the weather forecast had said. So I put my solar out and got everything up. Got up from 75% up to 100% in about an hour and a half. Storm, there goes the trampolines. Yeah, I understand that there's a lot of debris flying around. Fortunately, the houses in the UK don't blow away like they do in certain other countries. America, I'm looking at you. We've had stone and bricks for thousands of years. It's time to stop building your stuff out of wood. Los Angeles, I'm talking to you. Wood's a bit of a fire hazard. Did you see the thing with Trump and the mayor of Los Angeles? She's talking about streamlining the bureaucracy, and that all the talk had been about making it down to 18 months to get all the permits and everything. and Trump wants it all done within a week. Wow. Politics, I'm not going there. That was just a diversion because of houses blowing away and burning down. Okay, let's get back on track. So yeah, I got the EcoFlow up to 100% in about an hour and a half, and got everything fully charged. Wanted to keep everything tip-top, all of the batteries that I use for my head torch and my other lights, my USB rechargeable lights, get everything charged as quick as, in case the sun goes in and doesn't come back out for a day or two. It was a big worry for me the first 3 days of the week, and it was all for nothing. It was all sunny every day. I should have known. It's Spain. If you do get a cloudy day, it's never followed by another cloudy day. I don't remember that happening in 9 years I've been here in a few days. February the 17th. Maybe I'll do a special if that's not a Sunday. I don't know how the days fall. I've got no idea. If that's not a Sunday, I might do a special to commemorate, just to mark the fact that, yeah, 78 mile per hour. Yeah, I heard about 108 miles an hour and upwards, yeah, off Ireland. Yeah, I hope Jack Attack's okay. I hope everyone's okay. See, I'm fine here. It's nothing so far. But there's the front that's just hitting the east coast of the west coast of Spain now, and it might make its way over here in a few days. I have to keep my eye on the forecasts. But I hope everybody stays safe out there. Where am I? Put the solar out, got everything charged. Lovely sunny day, got everything charged. Yeah, batteries and everything charged. By the end of the afternoon, the EcoFlow, the solar panel had been in the shade for a few hours, and I'd carried on charging things. This phone I've mentioned, it takes a lot. I have to charge it basically 3 times a day. So again, the EcoFlow's headed down towards 90% at the start of night, with a day that's, again, on the forecast for the next day, might not have any sun. So I chase the sun, put the solar panel in the EcoFlow the other side of the field. Don't like to do it too often because I have to unplug the solar panel from the EcoFlow, and the cable's already, the connector is already showing copper between the connector and the insulation on the wire. You can see the copper. So the strain of plugging in and unplugging, plugging, unplugging, it's already making, it's already becoming visible. And the two wires, I'm holding my hands down here and you can't see, but the 2 wires are fairly close together. It's not a high charge. I don't think it's going to arc, but if they somehow got squeezed together, if it gave a bit more and there was a bit more, there you are, Adam and Mel, touring Torrevieja in Spain. That's them. Thanks, guys. I don't know if you saw earlier when I did the thank yous earlier. I don't know whether you're just arriving or not. You can always go back and replay the beginning if you didn't see it. Where am I? Yeah, so I chase the sun. I have to unplug the panel from the EcoFlow, take both over there and plug them all back in, and then come back and reverse the process. Putting a bit of strain on the connector and the wires. It's not ideal. But when the weather forecast is telling me the next day might not have any sun, I don't want to be going into the night on like 85% when I can keep it up around 100 with a little bit of effort. So that's the logic behind what I'm doing there, and also the downsides that go with it, the risks it poses. So this is Monday. And yeah, I think I'd moved the solar panel across. And this is when Adam and Mel arrived and brought me the 2 jackets, the head torch, the electric blanket, and went shopping for the water, a couple of bottles of pop, sugar, bread, and brought a dog bone as well, which was a nice treat for Tina. Thank you, guys. So yeah, this was when a little bit later I checked the weather forecast again, and it changed. Suddenly there was going to be some sun the next day. So that's how the weather forecast stood for about an hour before they changed it again to say no, they wouldn't. What can you do? What can you do? This was another one. Fell asleep at 10 o'clock at night, woke up at 2. I don't know how these patterns emerge, but I do go through these little runs where I'll have early nights rather than late nights. But then I wake up, if you're getting up for the day at 2 o'clock in the morning, or waking up at 2 in the morning, it's all a little bit weird. But I woke up at 2 o'clock, and I think it was the rain that woke me up. It just spitted, pitter-patter, just for 5 minutes or so. I came through, I think the door, I don't think I'd closed the door. I'd undone, so from having it hooked up, pinned open all day, I'd unpinned it and let the plastic come down. But when it starts to rain, I like to actually secure it so that the water isn't dripping into the tent. So I had to get out of bed at 2 in the morning and just do that. But no biggie. No biggie. In the end, it only rained for 5 minutes, so that was no problem. Again, excuse me, folks. Late night or early morning, somewhere probably around 6 o'clock again, fell asleep. Tuesday morning, got up 9:30, and the morning routine. I walked my Tina girl. I moved the solar panel from being a rain protector over the cool box. I stood it upright to collect the solar, and just got on with the day. We'd used a few percentage of the EcoFlow overnight. We were on 85%, but that would be enough to get me through that day and that night if it had to. But sunny day again. I honestly, looking back, I don't know what I was worrying about. Except that if I'd not taken the precautions and kept everything topped up at 100% as much as possible, damn well there would have been no sun, and it would have come and got me. Damn well that's what would have happened. I know damn well it would. So yeah, sunny all morning and half the afternoon. Then the sun kind of went in a little bit, I guess. But I sent a quick thank you message to Adam and Mel about their gifts, their donations the day before. Again, guys, thank you very much. And I made the video, didn't I? Tuesday was when I made the video, late morning, I don't know, what, 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock, I made a video ranting about the weather forecast and how it had said Monday and Tuesday were going to be dull and overcast, and it'd been sunny. So by the end of Tuesday afternoon, I was kind of confident that I was going to get through these 3 dark days, because even if the third day was cloudy, if I'm fully topped up on the EcoFlow, I'd get through that. And Thursday was definitely going to be sunny, according to the forecast. So what do? Just roll on. I was getting a bit more confident at this point. Now, I got my frying pan out and put some oil in and chopped some potatoes up and made myself some chipped butties. I guess this could be another theme for the week. Food. Since I got my my stove out at Christmas, didn't use it much. Christmas Day, I think that was about it. But once New Year happened, maybe a week into New Year, so the beginning of last week, I started using it a bit more. Hot coffee, instead of just drinking cold coffee or not having coffee as I was doing for a while. Drinking hot coffee, black, because milk's not really an option. Although I've got powdered somewhere back here. Big bags of it, 2 big bags, maybe 3. I should dig them out and actually start using it, I guess. But hot coffee and toasted sandwiches done in the frying pan kind of thing. Toasted bread in the frying pan. But also this week it's been chip butties and tins of soup. And last night Ismail, hello my friend. Last night I made a pan of I heated up a pan of chicken soup and put a load of pasta in it, just to make it extra extra food. So while I was out there doing that, I heated up some hot water and did hot water bottles. You see, even though I've got an electric blanket now, I'm kind of torn between not wasting energy. It wasn't a cold day, it wasn't a cold night even, but I did a couple of hot water bottles just because I had the stove on anyway. God, fly. Something, I must have something going off somewhere in here. Oh, this one's got 2 days off. Drink beer. Cheers, Ismo. Kippis, as we say in Finlandia. Kippis. Okay, where am I? Chip butties, yeah. I struggle to eat them though. For so long now I've been eating kind of one meal a day, and even that's not been much. Maybe 4 slices of bread, just as a couple of sandwiches. Suddenly, now that I've got the stove out, I'm eating 2, 3, sometimes 4 meals a day. So I guess that's a kind of a theme for the week as well, that I'm eating more, and the good and the bad that comes with that. You put more in, there's more going to come out. And the difficulties of trying to do that in a field while there's people driving past or walking past. We won't discuss that any further. So yeah, chip butties, struggle to eat them. Hot water bottles while I was out there. Like, I thought about using the electric blanket, but because Wednesday was still forecast to be because Wednesday there was still a chance that there was going to be no sun, I chose not to use the electric blanket on the Tuesday night. So into Wednesday, and again, this is a fairly standard day, nothing much to report. Usual morning routine: walk the dog, grab some coffee, solar panel, and again it was sunny-ish, not as sunny as the other days, but sunny enough. I think I was getting 40 to 50 watts from the solar panel most of the day, or at least before the sun goes around behind the tent. And that's again 2 hours and we're done. Everything's done, fully charged, topped up to 100%. I made more chip butties. I had food. Yeah, Wednesday morning I had more chip butties. I kind of got into because I had a big bag of potatoes over Christmas and didn't use them apart from the Christmas dinner. I'm just looking at them now because my veg trolley, the bottom couple of shelves, and one, yeah, on the bottom rack. Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm using the wrong hand for everything. The bottom rack's got potatoes on it, and the next one up, is it? That's all onions, I think. The whole rack, the whole shelf is onions on the second. Yeah, looks like it. Zoom back out. Oh, shit. I'm manipulating the chat now. I need to... Oh, fuck, I'm messing up. Hand over the camera, you see. I put my hand around the back of the phone so as not to block the camera, forgetting that I was using the other camera. Fucking dick. I don't know. Trained internet professional. Once upon a time. So yeah, where am I? Chip butties, yeah, for breakfast. But I had some like hot dog buns. So I did the chips and put them in the bread, and it was just too much food. I got halfway through eating them and I had to put the plate to one side and kind of come back an hour later to try and finish. My stomach has shrunk. It's like when I went to Tweety after 2 years of not going to Tweety's for my fish and chips. When I did go, I struggled to eat it. I was almost sick on the way home because I couldn't keep it all in, or almost sick. I'm not going to waste food. I managed to keep it all in, but it was a struggle that time. So yeah. So like I said, it was a sunnyish day, but not as sunny, but definitely not overcast. Nice warm day. Usual, just sat in the tent most of the time. Sat outside maybe for an hour with Tina. And you see, I could have done that to Jack Attack. I could have asked for a doggy bag, but I finished it. I like to clean my plate. I'm probably like you, of that generation where starving children in Africa, so eat it all down. Clear your plate because they're starving children. So yeah, I wasn't really a doggy. And while I was there, to be honest, I mean, like I said, it was my first trip there in it would be 2.5 years, would it? Probably. And I wanted to have another beer while I was there, so I finished my food and have a beer while I was doing it. See, that's the beauty of Spain. Everywhere is a cafe bar, even a fish and chip shop. You sit down and have your beer. In a bag in your pocket. Maybe next time. Now, I got to get back in the habit of eating more regularly because I think I've mentioned in the past, I dropped from 100 kilograms to 67 the first 3 or 4 months of being homeless. Now, I'm quite sure that I've put most of that back on, but I'm going to say, let's just say that perhaps not enough of my calories have come from food the last few months. You know where I'm going, but yeah. So yeah, Wednesday was a warm day and a warm evening and night. This was the one where I could hear mice moving about in here. I was chasing them around, and I think that one of these occasions was where it was in the bedroom. I could just hear what I thought might be, and I got my head torch. I shone the torch that direction. I hissed like a cat would hiss, or maybe like a snake would hiss, and I fucking jumped down and ran out of the bedroom and disappeared into the rest of the tent. And I came out and kind of I saw the general area that it was in, because I moved stuff and it ran out again, and I'm fairly sure that I've got, let me see if I can show you this. Over there, oh, do you see that zip in the wall? That's where the EcoFlow, that's where the cable comes in from the solar panel and goes into the EcoFlow when the EcoFlow is not at the other side of the field. So the cable comes in and then I would zip it tight back up against the cable. But on this occasion, I'd put the EcoFlow in, I'd plug the cable back in, but I'd not closed the bloody zip. And so I think that the mouse might get in by crawling up the cable and just through the zip hole and just in. So I closed that and trapped the bugger in here, and I'm gonna stomp on him when I see him. Maybe. I'm fairly sure he's got other ways in and out. I know there was a hole over here that he used to come in through. But yeah, I was, once you've heard them and you're listening for them, I told you last week about the time that I thought I heard a mouse through here and it was a cat. Fucking cat came in the tent, and when I hissed and shouted and put my torch on, my head torch, he jumped up on the coffee table here, ran across past the Christmas tree, jumped down and out through the wall, through the big hole in the wall, the big tear. This time it wasn't a cat, this time it was mice. But once you've heard them and chased them around and you carry on hearing the pitter-patter of little tiny feet, I'm smiling again. I don't know why I'm smiling. I hate the little bastards, but I do have a grudging respect for them. But they're my enemy, and the cat is my enemy's enemy, so he's my friend in theory. But Tina doesn't like cats, so she chases him away whenever she sees him. So yeah, it was a warm night. Yeah, chasing the mice around. Yeah, the mouse came in on the solar panel cable. That was Wednesday night. Into Thursday. Now this is a strange one. I think I've talked in the past about a guy called Nick Ricata on YouTube, an American lawyer who I quite liked watching, and he used to do a late show in America. I think 11, 12 o'clock his time, which would be like 6 in the morning here. So I'd wake up in the morning back when I slept at night, or if I was awake anyway, if I was still awake, I'd put him on, and then he got himself into a spot of trouble 7 or 8 months ago Him and his wife have been swinging with another couple, and rumours went around, and they've all been doing drugs. He lost a lot of weight, and eventually the police got a search warrant and bust his house, and he got into a lot of trouble. So he hasn't been on for 7 or 8 months. He hasn't really. Sporadically, he'll do a show, but he ends up talking about his own case all the time, which any lawyer should know not to do. But he figured he was smart enough to walk around, to dance around the issues. He wasn't. He kept dropping himself in it. But suddenly the other morning, Thursday morning, we got the notification that he was going to go live, and I thought I'll give that a watch, see, because his case is just coming to an end. That they're about to have a settlement agreement and all that. So I thought it'd be interesting to watch that, see how much grief the chat gave him, because this guy, best guesstimates are that this guy made 2 million in 1 year from the Kyle, what was he called? The kid, the 17-year-old with the gun that killed 3 people in like half a second when they tried to kill him in the riots. Kyle Rittenhouse. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial was a biggie, and then the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. He covered both of those, and he had hundreds of thousands of people watching concurrently and sending him super chats, and he made a bloody fortune. But he's blown it all. Kylie Morehouse. What was his slogan? 4 doors, more whores. 17-year-olds, what can you say? But I thought it'd be interesting to watch Ricata come back from this and see what happened. And the guy was about an hour late with his show, but it was interesting enough. He had to walk the fine line of not talking about his own case too much. So he was talking more about Supreme Court stuff and the Trump's... Did I get it? Trump's... what are they called? These proclamations that he did immediately upon becoming president. These, I can't remember the right word. But instead of making laws and having them debated in the Senate and in Congress and what have you, he just does these proclamations, doesn't it? It becomes law. And some of them have been challenged. So you had this lawyer discussing that. It's just interesting stuff, but it was just good to see the guy back. And it looks like his troubles are coming to an end. So that was nice. Executive orders, thank you. That's the word. You see, I was thinking like royal proclamations, but couldn't get past that phrasing. The same thing basically, but yeah. But so there I am, kind of 7 in the morning by the time we started, and I'd been awake most of the night, and I fell asleep a couple of times during the show, but only like micro naps, maybe 5 or 10 minutes at a time. 9:30, Tina woke me up, but I was just groggy after being kind of awake a lot of the night. And when you just feel like you're awake, but you just need that extra half hour, but you can't actually sleep, you're just kind of tucked up warm in bed. It was just that. So eventually 10 o'clock we actually make a move and get up and do the morning stuff. Dog walk, coffee, solar panel, blah blah. But I didn't get any food this time. I wasn't feeling it Thursday morning. But the solar, see, Thursday was a proper sunny day. No, not a hint of cloud, no wispy cloud, no nothing. By 20 past 11, even though I didn't start until 10 with the solar panel, maybe even a little bit later. I did other things maybe and put the solar panel out on the way back in. Might have been 10:15. By 20 past 11, 100%. Fully charged, all just everything that we needed. It was just all there, all the power we wanted. This is when Labara, my phone company, my phone provider, decided to send me a nice text just reminding me that it's this weekend I have to pay my phone bill for the next month. And I wasn't sure how much I had on my card. I've talked about Karen sending me this debit card, prepaid debit card. I send her some of my PayPal funny money. She transfers it to the card, and then I have it available for either internet payments or tap and pay, whatever it's called. Tap to pay. I wasn't sure I had enough, so I stalled a few days. But then this morning I went ahead and did that and Fortunately, I had enough left on to pay it. I was a little bit worried, but yeah, cash. What can you do? But they sent me another text this morning. So apparently, at some point in the last couple of months, the tariff didn't change. But you know how over time you get more for your money. So I'm on the same €15 a month package. But whereas it used to be, I think when I first started, I think it was 50 gigabytes, and they gifted you another 50, which was one of my complaints about how they word it. But now I think we're up to something like 125 or maybe 150 gigabytes with the same again gifted on top. And now I don't get through that much, because whenever I'm watching anything, I select 144p, like the lowest resolution YouTube will do. Partly because small phone, you don't need that much, and partly because bad eyes. I can't. If it was super clear, it just wouldn't make that much difference to me anyway, would it? I mean, if I do that, I can't. I've got the pinned comment. When you're in the YouTube app actually broadcasting, the pinned comment is visible across the screen. If I do that, I can't read that now. I've not got a hope in my, even if I wait a couple of minutes for my eyes to kind of adjust to not having the glasses on. So going for like a super high resolution 1080 or whatever, you know, high def. Pointless. Hello, Phil. How you doing? Where are you at, Phil? What's the weather like there? I've been asking people who've been coming on. What's the weather? Are you in a storm zone? Okay, let's just get back to this. Where am I? We're on Thursday, aren't we? I was talking about Raketa, talking about falling asleep. Oh yeah, the morning routine started late, 10 o'clock onwards, and I got up to 100%. Labara, the phone, that's where I was. I caught myself. I found myself. Yeah. So the package has increased, and I got a text. I got a text this morning saying that I've still got over 100 gigabytes left, which is probably all I need from it. If that rolls over, I'm not even going to touch the gigabytes I get from this payment that I made today. And if I don't make the payment, the gigabytes don't roll over. You just lose them. So what do you do? And it's not like I can just download the shit out of everything and if my portable hard drive was working and I could move things out of the way, I could just download a load of shit. But my hard drive's still got the file allocation table there or whatever it is. Nobody's managed to bring me a laptop that I could borrow for 5 minutes. Come on, folks. There's got to be somebody out there with a laptop that could help us out. So Phil's in Leeds, cold and wet, no real wind. Oh, that's good. And I just saw Tom there. Hello, Tom. So yeah, I've got all these gigabytes and no way of using them because I still can't get my external hard drive up and running. Got to be somebody with a either just a laptop that they can bring and lend me one, or I know a lot of people tend to keep their old laptops and put them in a drawer and just never use them. Maybe somebody out there has got like an old laptop that they just, you know, aren't using. I can take all the old software off, I can delete all your data, or I can defrag hard drives and make it all run fast. If anybody's got one to donate to a Tramp. Library, I wouldn't even know where the library was in Torrevieja, and I can't really get about because my dog's more or less immobile. Yeah, travel's not really. I mean, I could give the hard drive to someone else, and someone else, if they knew what they were doing, could take it away and plug it in somewhere. I mean, that'd be an option. As long as they don't press the wrong button and delete the 250 gigs that's already on there. It's a 2 terabyte hard drive. I could download the shit out of the internet and store it all forever. Anyway, so this is Thursday and into Thursday night, and even though it was a warm night, I decided that because Thursday had been sunny and Friday was scheduled to be sunny, I'm going to try the electric blanket. I put the electric blanket on the bed in readiness for testing. So, oh, this is still late afternoon. Sorry, I put the blanket on the bed in readiness. I didn't use it yet. That's later. Thursday night. Warm, yeah, okay. Thursday continued. So yeah, the forecast is for 11 degrees overnight. So that's quite warm. I wouldn't really need the electric blanket. If I was going to turn it on, it would literally be like just to test. I wanted to gauge how much power it was going to use. Tina's only 9. She was born roughly, as far as we can work out, because she was a street dog for a little while. But as far as we can work out, she was born roughly the time I came into the country. Sometime between late February and April. So I chose April the 1st as her birthday, so she can be my little April Fool. But yeah, she's not in a great state physically. The back legs are collapsing under her, and as far as I can tell, it isn't just like hip dysplasia, which can be, I mean, it can be treated with operations and things, but my situation wouldn't allow that anyway. But I don't think it's that. I think it's something degenerative, neurological, because there are certain signals, there's certain things that her body's doing. I've mentioned in the past, dogs have this little tickle spot, usually alongside their navel, their belly button. And you tickle there, and one leg will, will kind of lose control and shake and shake. You can now tickle her anywhere on her body, and her legs just collapse from under her. It's like the nerve signals are getting lost, are getting, what would you say, interfering with each other. They're getting picked up in places they shouldn't be picked up. Her front legs are still under her own control. Front legs are fine, but the back legs are they're all over the place. And but it's not just that, it's other things. Yeah, poor thing. But my situation doesn't even allow me really to get to the vet and get things, any kind of treatment or any kind of. Okay, back to the story. Where were we? Thursday. I chased the sun again. The EcoFlow was on 98% by the time the sun went down, because I was still charging things while it was in the sun. I think it was my lantern, this one, USB. Well, it's kind of USB-C, but not really. Has to be plugged. Those USB-A to C cables. You plug it. If you use a USB-C to USB-C, doesn't work because the device doesn't send the right signals back along the wire. Anyway, yeah, I was charging that, so 98% going into the night, which it was going to be enough. It's going to be a warm night. The next day was due to be sunny, so I figured I got power to spare. So this is why I decided halfway through the night to test the electric blanket. And what I found was if I put on for 30 minutes, it used 20% of the EcoFlow's battery. It's the smallest Tramp in the field. I had donations from you guys, and I scraped enough money together to buy that. I had to buy the bottom model, the lowest battery, the lowest capacity, 256 watt hours, quarter of a kilowatt hour. So heating with the electricity is never. It's expensive in terms of wattage and what have you. You're just powering a big resistor, really, aren't you? So 20% used in half an hour, but the bed was lovely and toasty warm. I mean, too warm. I was kind of sweating in there. But what I hadn't realised, I hadn't really made the bed properly when I put the blanket on. I'd left the edges of the blanket hanging over the edge of the bed, and what I hadn't realised was that was like where a big part of the heating element is in the edge. So by not having that properly on the mattress and tucked in under the quilts, I allowed it to kind of cool down too quickly afterwards. So once I realised this, and I moved the blanket properly onto the bed no overhang, and actually tucked the quilts tucked under, so the electric blanket's entirely like within a pocket in the bed, tucked under at the bottom where my feet go, and tucked under at the side. I put the electric blanket on again a couple of hours later, this time just for a quarter of an hour, and this time it stayed warmer much longer. And again, quarter of an hour used about 10% of the EcoFlow. But as I said, we're into Friday morning. I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning when I put it on the second time. So it's about to start getting warmer in an hour or two. So yeah, into Friday morning. Like I said, I've had it on for a quarter of an hour and monitored, made the bed properly on it, and it stayed warm a lot longer. At this point, the EcoFlow's down to about 50% with charging phones and tablets overnight. I've said this phone is just a power hog. So yeah, we're down to 50%, but there's no worry. I'm expecting the sun to come out, and it duly obliges. Lovely sunny morning. Sat outside for a couple of hours, me and the dog, waving at passers-by, saying hello to people. Just being generally friendly. You never know. Might pick up a donation from somebody one day. It does happen. I mean, you know, that's not the reason I'm sitting out saying hello. That sounds a bit too mercenary. I'm not. But, you know, I don't want to be scowling and glowering at people, do I? I want to appear like the friendly guy down the end of the road. So we sat out, I had coffee, I made chips again Friday morning, but just a plate of chips this time. No bread, no chip butties. I just don't have the stomach capacity for lots of food. So I just cooked a nice plate of chips, or if you're in America, fries, separated by a common language. Within 2 hours, we've gone from 50% to from 50% up to 100%. But by noon, we're fully powered. What did Jack Attack just ask there? As far as I can tell, Jack Attack, it doesn't click on and off. Or at least in the time I had it on, in the half an hour it didn't. So it's got it's got 3 different heat settings and 4 or 5 different kind of timer settings. And I presume, I haven't got a manual or anything with it, but I presume it's hours. It clicks from 2, 4, 6, 8, I think it goes through. I put it on 1 for the thermostat, 1 for heat, and 2 for timer for hours. But I'm going to be, I use the app on the phone to turn the power off, to turn the AC off on the EcoFlow. So it's not going to be on for 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours anyway. But no, as far as I can tell, it's not clicking on and off when it reaches a specific your laptop is very slow. How do you fix it, please? Basically, there's a whole process, but you look at the apps that are loading on startup, and you disable the ones that you don't want to be there. Over time, you install new software, and they all add themselves to the auto start list. So you turn all those off. You uninstall anything that's there that you don't want. You check the running apps in the what's it called, in the running processes and stuff, and you turn off anything you don't want. Defragment the hard drive if it's an old school platter, an old school spinny disk, rather than the modern SSD. God, it's been so long, I'll lose the terminology. There's a whole bunch of things. I used to use something called CCleaner to remove unwanted apps and clean caches and things. I think that one got hacked, and now people recommend other apps instead. But there's basically there are articles online that will talk you through it. But a lot depends on the type of hard drive, and but those startup apps, the things that are running automatically, when you look to the right, to the bottom right where your clock is, and you see the system tray, whatever it's called, and you look at how many icons are in there, those are things that are running right from the start in the background. You want to get rid of as many of that stuff. If you're running an antivirus program, most of those you don't need nowadays. You can rely more or less on the built-in Microsoft one, or at least you could the last I heard. So removing or disabling antivirus and maybe just running it periodically manually rather than having it running all the time in the background. There's a whole list of things. There are articles out there. Google is your friend as long as you go to a reliable site for your information. But that's a quick rundown of what the process would be and the steps involved. Depends how it's slow. Is it slow just to boot up and get running, or is it just slow continuously? You've probably got things running that you don't want running or that you never knew were even there, is the long and the short of it. But defragging hard drives, if it's an old school spinny disk, that used to be a biggie. Cleaning caches and things is another one. Where did I get to, folks? I was on Friday, the last I remember. No, was I? Yeah, Friday morning. We just begun, hadn't we? EcoFlow was on 50%. Everything topped up after a couple of hours. Yeah, it was a lovely sunny day. I was getting 85, sometimes 90 watts from the solar panel at any one moment, which is quite good for winter. I've got no idea. Anybody out there, solar panels in the UK, if you put a 100-watt solar panel out in winter, do you get anything? There's Slothbite, New World Order Slothbite. How are you doing, my friend? I haven't seen you in a while, I don't think. Hope everything's okay. Where are you in the world? Remind me where you are and what the weather is. Are you okay? You haven't got wildfires running around. You haven't got runaway storms ripping the roofs off houses or anything. Hope everything's okay wherever you are. I lose track. There's so many of you nowadays. How many? I can't remember. I know that I'm down. My subscribers have fallen this week from where they were last weekend. You get -1 energy per hour. But okay, let's crack on. So Friday, I had my chips, my plate of chips, and got everything charged. This Pepe, the Spanish guy at the other side of the field, with the other side of the trees, more towards the cliff tops, he came a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if I mentioned it. He came a couple of weeks ago and asked for water, and I only had about 5 bottles of water. And I'm a bit of a softie, I guess. I said yes, kind of without thinking and without. So he took one of my bottles, one of my 8-litre bottles of water a couple of weeks ago, and then I was left short because, like I said, I'm starting to drink coffee now and cook and like boil potatoes occasionally or whatever, Pasta needs water. I'm just using so much more water. I had to fill the hot water bottles initially. Water just went. And there I am giving it away, and I can't get to the supermarket. I haven't got much in the way of money, but when I have, I can't get there because Tina can't be left alone. Getting a little bit better now, out of necessity. Sometimes I nip across to the Chinese shop and just leave her here, or I go to the bins and back and leave her here. She'll be howling by the time I get back, but there was a time that would never have been. She would have never allowed me to do that. She just would not have allowed it. Windy and stormy. Stay safe, my friend. Stay safe. She wouldn't have allowed it, but now I get a little bit more leeway when I have to go across into the trees, or when I have to go across to the bins or to the shop. I get maybe 5 minutes away from her, but I couldn't go to Mercadona and leave her here. Sometimes when I just come back from the Mercadona, which is 1 kilometre away, 10 minutes walk each way and 10 minutes around the shop, half an hour there and back basically. I couldn't possibly leave her alone for that. A, she would be howling, and B, even though she's not that mobile, she's still got some mobility. She would be gone. She would be off looking for me. And yeah, it's tricky. But so this guy's coming and kind of, he asks, he's not stealing my water, but he's taking my water, which is a scarce resource for me. This guy's working. He's getting picked up by someone in a car at the top of the road here and dropped off after work. He could nip out and buy himself a bottle of water and have his mate drive him back here with it. Instead, he's coming and taking mine. Well, you know, I don't mean taking as in stealing, but asking for it. And so he came around this week again. On the Friday, he came and asked, can I have a bottle of water? And this time I had to just say, no, sorry, no. I've only got 4. 2 of them are holding the tent in place. 2 of them are ballast for when it gets windy. The tarpaulin, because for half of the year you can't get tent pegs in the ground, and the other half of the year you put the tent peg in and the slightest pull on it and it just comes up and out the ground because the ground's wet. I had to tie the tarps to weights, to bricks, and to heavy bottles of water. So yeah, I guess by the time he asked, I had a bit more water because Adam and Mel brought me 4 on the Monday. But I'd used nearly 2 of them by the time he asked. So I'm probably down around 3 or 4 bottles, and 2 of them are ballast, that can't be taken away and used. So I had to reluctantly. I'm generally quite generous with people, but I had to say, sorry, no, I've only got a limited amount, and I can't get to the shop. Like I said, he's got the money. He's working. He's got a lift in the morning to wherever he's going and back. They must be passing shops and supermarkets and things at some point. They're all over the place. He could easily buy water and get it brought here. He should be bringing me water, really, shouldn't he? That's a hint if you're watching, Pepe. So yeah, I had to say no to the guy. I didn't like to do it, but it's not like I can even walk down to the foot wash thing and get water from from near the beach, from the foot wash, because they're turned off and I can't get there anyway. I've got a trolley. I could fill 4 bottles and bring them back, but I can't take Tina down that main road. She can't get there and back, and I can't leave her alone. What do you do? So reluctantly I had to say no, which he wasn't that happy about, but what can you do? Like I said, I'm using more of it now because I'm preparing food and because I'm drinking more coffee, and before I would have been drinking cola maybe or beer even. So I would have drunk less. I would have used less water. I wasn't preparing food. I wasn't having to wash pans out after having a soup. All these silly things, the little things that you don't think about where your water goes. I am horribly blue here, aren't I, guys? Let's see whether I can make myself look more human. Oh, where did it go? There we go. That's a bit more human, yeah? A bit more pink, a bit more flesh tones. I think, did I miss a comment? I thought I saw something flash up. Okay, no, I did see that, yeah. You're in the south and windy and stormy. Stay safe though, yeah? Everybody stay safe. Don't be going out in 100-mile-an-hour winds to try and make a video for YouTube or something, as I hear some people were doing. Getting themselves in trouble. Okay. So, my mate Tom rings me. This is Friday, probably mid-afternoon. He rings and says he's going to bring me some food around, like a warm meal. He brings it in I call it Tupperware, but really it's an ice cream carton. But he goes to the Friday market and buys the pre-cooked chicken, the roast chicken that they do. Portions it up and then does whatever he does with it. So he rings me and tells me he's going to come around later. So that's all good. And then the next thing I know, I turn around and a Russian friend turns up. He hasn't been around in a few months, but a guy called Dima. I'm not sure of the spelling, but he stops by, and apparently he's been somewhere. It looks like he's on some kind of welfare or something himself, but he's got a rucksack full of bits and pieces of food that he's like the Red Cross, but not the Red Cross. Somewhere's given him something, and he dropped off a few bits with me, like a pound of tomatoes and a couple of cucumbers. So I've been having tomato and cucumber sandwiches, but I've been having lots. I've been eating lots. I do want to return to the UK, yes, Terence, but getting access to my money, using my money to get a lawyer and resolving a legal situation, and then obviously wherever I'm at with Tina, whether I need to arrange transporting dogs between countries can be quite expensive. Plus, I'd need to buy the cage, the whatever you call it, the crate. Crate's the word they use, I believe, the transport crate for the dog. Or whether Tina lasts that long, depending on when we're talking about, and how her own situation resolves or not. All of those things. Getting access to my money from my UK bank. So yeah, the intention is definitely to return home. I'm illegal here in Spain, which I've never been a lawbreaker. I've always been a good boy. Yeah. Okay. So demarized gives me the tomatoes and cucumbers, yeah. And again, the EcoFlow's been in, well, the solar panel's been in the shade all afternoon, but I've been charging things. So the EcoFlow's down to 95. So again, we chase the sun. I go move the panels around to get that extra 5%, just to top things off. And my mate Tom arrives and brings, like I said, he actually brought two meals. So one I had right there, and then, yeah, I'd live back in the UK, yeah. But I just got to get access to my money, and there's some family shit going on back home apparently. Complicated. But yeah, the aim is to go back to the UK, and I don't know where. I don't know whether I would return to the town that I was living in before I came out here, maybe the town that I'm from originally, or maybe just somewhere new. I mean, who knows? Depends what I decide to do, like, or what my intentions are, employment or self-employed. Whether I can come up with a business idea, or how much money I've got left after sorting everything else out and arranging. I mean, I want to get back there and arrange for like somewhere between 3 and 6 months rental of a place, so that I'm secure. You know, I don't want to end up homeless there, because it's a lot colder there than it is here. Tina girl, quiet. Tina wants some attention. Can we see her? Hey babe. Oh no, that's made it worse. There she is though. Hey babe. Have a look for the people. Yeah, say hello to the peoples. There she is. Okay. And oh, I've knocked the brightness down. There. But oh, clicked it twice. Yeah, okay, we're all right. There's Jack Attack. Okay. Where was it? Tom brought 2 meals. Yeah. Both chicken based, but yeah, no, lovely. I had one there and then, and then there was a discussion about whether I would have it that night or whether I would save it until the morning. And I thought I would probably save it till the next day, but I got hungry. I got hungry late on Friday night and had it there and that. You know, had it then. I think. Yeah, I sat and chatted with Tom for a couple of hours after he arrived, or hour and a half maybe, while the sun got low and it started to get a bit cool. So I came in and just put the box of food, the ice cream carton, to one side, and I thought I was going to leave it while the next morning, but by the time Friday nights or Friday night tights, by the time that started, I was starting to just feel that little bit hungry. So I thought I would eat it and while I watched Friday night tights. But again, I think this is the 3rd or 4th week on the trot. I got bored with Friday Night Tights. Used to be my favourite programme of the week on YouTube. They get like somewhere between 16 and 20,000 people watching live. And I used to love it. But I watched the first half hour and just got bored. They spend too long on the first, whatever their main topic for the week is. And they they spend an hour and a half talking about that one topic, and if they're talking about something you're not bothered about, some film that's just come out and they're all saying how bad it is, great. But why does it take you an hour and a half to say it's bad? I can't even remember what the film was this week. It's usually a superhero film, and it's usually or a Star Wars film, and they'll tell you how bad it is. But I don't need an hour and a half of it, especially as I don't go at the pictures. So in recent weeks I've been downloading it or just watching it on demand, and then I can skip to the timestamps that I'm more interested in. But this week I'm not. Last week I didn't even do that with last week's episode, and this week's I'm probably just not going to bother with it. I'm kind of done with it, which I don't know. I think it's me that's changed. I don't think that they've changed the format or anything, but they do to my mind, they just labour the point a little bit too long. Like I do here, maybe. 2 hours talking about how shit life is in a field. I see that we've got a few more people here now, and people are dropping in and out, so I'll just run through this is episode 53 of TrampCast. Broadcast today, Sunday, January the 26th. The channel, Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, that's a character I play on the internet. Not my real name. My real initials, DM. I am a tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode, a bum, someone who sleeps rough, on the streets, or in my case, in a field. Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. That's a city on the southeast coast of Spain. This is a program where we go through the successes and the failures and the other happenings in my week, in a week in my life as an Englishman trapped in Spain by circumstance. So we're just finishing off Friday. There's not long to go now, folks. Into Saturday morning. It's a sunny morning. I quickly get the EcoFlow fully charged from solar. Again, an hour and a half, 2 hours, we're all done. Saturday afternoon turned cloudy. So me and the dog sat inside on the bed and watching videos. Now my bedroom is this side of the tent over there. Okay, I got my head where I am. The tent slopes in like this nowadays. It used to be more upright, but the guy lines aren't attached because I can't put the guy lines through the tarpaulins and the toldos, the awning fabric. So the tent is kind of slouching inwards a bit. So there's a lot more of a slope now. So I'm sat with my head here against the leading edge of the tent, and I hear what I think are footsteps coming down the path in the field, not the track alongside the field. And I think for a moment that it's going to be Pepe, the guy in the other side of the field. He walks through the field. So usually when I hear footsteps, it's him. Occasionally, it's someone coming to bring me something, to bring me a bag of food or ask if everything's all right, bring me some clothes or things. On this occasion, the footsteps seem to stop halfway down the field. Hey, Scruff Dog, how you doing, mate? Next thing I know, though, I'm sat in the tent. The tent's like that. I got my head against the tent because I'm sat upright. Suddenly, thwack! Something smacks the tent. Someone's thrown a rock of stone at the tent, and my head's against the fucking edge of the tent. You know? Now it didn't hit me directly. Fortunately, it could have. So I'm fucking annoyed at this, obviously. And I get off the edge of the bed. I have to throw Tina out of the way. She's trying to get out, but her legs don't work, so she's just in the way. I throw her back on the bed, put my shoes on, and take a look out. And there's two kids running up the field. So I give fucking chase. I'm gonna give them a slap. And but they've got a head start on me. I'm a fat old man, and they've got bikes waiting at the top of the field on the road. They've got their bikes waiting. So I get within maybe 20 yards and 20 meters, and off they go on their bikes. So now I've got a pile of stones sat outside the tent here. If anything like that happens again, I'm just going to pick up a fucking handful of rocks, give chase, and when I get close enough, I'm just going to fucking belt the bastards with the rocks. I'm not having that. If that had actually hit where my head was, that would have been a hospital job. If it had been the actual tent fabric, if I'd not got tarpaulins and the toldos material, the awning fabric, 3 layers of awning there to kind of cushion the blow, it would have damaged the tent. If this had still been a new tent, that would have put a hole in the tent. It went with an almighty fucking whack, and the rock that's out there is yay big, which is why they've walked down the field to get closer so they could throw it. Little bastards. They would have been, I don't know what I would have done if I'd caught them. I got no fucking, I mean, I would have put the fucking fear of God in them at the least. Grab them by the neck and fucking shake them. I don't know. But I'm not having that. I'm not. And I think it's the same, I think it's the same 2 kids that did the same thing about a year ago. I'd have to look back through my notes to see when it was. But, yeah. No, I'm just not fucking having that. Fairly sure it was the same 2 kids from last time. Last time they came down the little track here and did it with, I think it was a stick last time rather than a rock. But they did it closer from the little track down here rather than coming down from the main road and down through the field. But yeah, no, that would have hurt if that rock had been where my head was rather than above and to the side. Now, back in the day when Tina could fucking move when she was, well, probably until a year ago, Tina was like grease lightning. She would have had him. Now she can't get off the bed quick enough, but yeah, no, this is where I think that was the title of the episode, wasn't it? About 10 under attack. See, because now I'm on alert. I'm listening for footsteps in the field or, But the other thing is there's the track, the road here that I'm close to, and I can't stop people coming down it. So I'm listening out for, is it kids? Is it, what is it? Who is it? When is it? A little bit on edge now after that. So yeah, hence the uppercase in my notes here, 10 attacked by 2 kids. They can't have been somewhere between 10 and 13. I mean, I'm not good at putting age on kids. I'm not, I'm not an expert, but somewhere around there. So they're not like yobs. It's not like they're 18-year-olds or 16-year-olds or something. They're kids, but not happy about it. Anyway, back we go to the rest of the day. This was one of those days where I just couldn't stop eating. Saturday, just could not. I made myself some sandwiches for breakfast. Later in the day, I had tortilla wraps. Again, this was pate that I smeared on, pate and tomatoes, a little bit of cucumber, and tortilla wraps. Then later on, I just had tomato and cucumber sandwiches. And then for my 4th meal of the day, this is where I had a tin of soup. And I filled the pan with pasta. I got this ribbon pasta stuff up. I don't know what it is. Smaller than tagliatelle. I'm not even sure whether it's pasta or noodles. What do I know? I'm just a tramp. I live in a field. But I filled the pan I had. So that I sat there last night. While I was doing that, this is when I filled the hot water bottles. When I was doing the soup, it was night time. So because I'd got my gas ring on, I boiled some water and filled my hot water bottles, two 2-litre pop bottles, and an actual hot water bottle, a proper real one. So even though I've got the electric blanket now, I still, because I'd got the gas hob on anyway, I went that. No, I had bow ties was last week. This one was more of a ribbon. This was like a small tagliatelle, a thinner, shorter tagliatelle. But I don't know my pastas. I don't know the names of these things. I know the names of about 3. That's all. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I filled the hot water bottles, but then I'm sat in bed with 3 hot water bottles. I got a proper hot water bottle behind my back because my back's still aching from when it went the other week from when I was trying to dance around Tina. And then I've got the 2 hot water bottle, the 2 pop bottles inside a cushion cover zipped up so that I'm not getting burnt by the bottle. I've got no idea what that is. But inside the hot water, those are down by my legs, down between my legs, down towards my feet. And then I've got this on my stomach. I'm sat with this hot pan. I'm eating out of the pan as I do. I'm eating, a pan is just a bowl with a handle, isn't it? It's handy for eating, especially when you filled it with soup and pasta. And so I am sweating my balls off. I've got the heat of the pan sat kind of on my belly. I've got the hot water bottle just the other side of me from my belly, you know, on my back. And I got all the water down by my ankles, the hot water bottles. Okay. Penne is the tube stuff. Okay, bigger than macaroni. See, I'm learning. You learn something every day, don't you? Or at least you try to. If you can learn something new every day, then you, by the end of your life, you know things. That's the theory. Anyway, so yeah, there I am, sweating my balls off in bed and waiting for Big Clive and my mate Scruff Dog there to come on, and so I have my enjoyable evening. Big Clive, Scruff Dog, Jack Attack was there. All good fun. And immediately afterwards, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I think here, it might have been 1:30, something like that, but I took Tina for a kind of, I used to call it a midnight dog walk, but it seems to have moved more towards 2 a.m. So that's my Saturday night. Watch some. I'm still watching The Mentalist and Lie to Me. I'm just coming towards the end of the 6th season or series of The Mentalist. I had a bottleneck. It wasn't downloading for a while, and I'm just finishing Lie to Me. I'm just finishing I'm finishing that for good. I'm at the end of the 3rd season, and there were only 3. Tina girl, look at this. Oh God, this is going to be a nightmare. I might have to get up. Oh, I know I did have her already. Fucking hell, what's happening? Can you see that? She's through the door, not the doorway. She's actually, there's a hole in the fly mesh in the mosquito net. Yeah, I'm only on season 6 of Mentalist, so I've got 3 or 4 to go. I think there was 10 or 11 in the end. Lie to Me was cancelled after the 3rd, yeah. But I enjoyed it. I like all of those smartest man in the room things. Any Sherlock Holmes-y kind of, like House. I mean, he's a doctor rather than a detective, but I still like that. Any of those smartest guy in the room. That, the American series, High Performance? Is it High Performance or High Performance Individual? And I'm also watching the French version when I can get that to download, because they've got more seasons already. They're I mean, it was French originally, and it's a remake, the American one. So seems to follow the same storyline. So I'm enjoying the French version. The only problem is the subtitles are out of whack. I have to keep adjusting the. Okay, I'll look for those. I have to keep adjusting the playback on the French HPI, Haute Potential Individuel, however it's said. So I will adjust the delay on the subtitles, and it'll be spot on. And kind of 2 minutes later, they're off again. It's a real pain in the ass. The version of Lie to Me that I downloaded was about a second off with the audio, and I had to use VLC and time shift the audio, a negative delay. I had to bring the audio forward. But that's what I've been watching. So that's what I've watched through the night most of this week. Those things, as well as YouTube. I'm still watching Asmongold quite a lot. Don't agree with him on everything, but he seems quite rational overall for a gamer. So yeah, anyway, that's Saturday night, and so into Sunday morning. I was watching videos till 4. Next thing I know, it's 9:30, and the morning routine: walk the dog, put Solar out, grab some coffee, all the usual stuff. But let's have a look. Oh no, okay, I'm telling a lie. God, I'm talking about today and I got it wrong. So yeah, I woke up at 9:30. I put the solar out. Okay, I just got back into bed. It's one of those days where you've got up, but it's still a bit cool. The sun's kind of sort of almost out, or almost moved around behind the trees and pointing on the field. But I went back to bed. It was actually 12 o'clock before I got moving. So yeah, and then we did the morning routine, walk the dog, solar's already out, walk the dog, get some coffee, think about food, but I couldn't think of anything that I fancied out of what I've got, so I kind of put that off until later. I thought I heard someone coming down the field again. I thought it might have been the kids again, so I scrambled to the door, but it wasn't. There was no one there. It was just, the sound was on the road. It was people on the road. It just, I don't know if it's me. I can't pinpoint the direction of sound as well as I used to. I can be totally wrong. I can think things are on the left and it's actually on the right. So when you've got the track up from the field on one side and you've got the little, you've got a little path through the field one side and you've got a small track or road on the other, I sometimes get lost, get confused. Are you whimpering, Tina? What's wrong? Oh, did you see that? I just reached for my head torch. I haven't got it on. Hey, babe. What's the noise for? Where are you to start with? Let's. Oh, look at that. I haven't put the head torch in the right way and it's holding. Where are you, girl? I'm gonna have to go help her, I think. Give us a second, folks. We haven't got long to go. We've only got a couple of hours of Sunday to cover. But I gotta. Oh, she's come back out. Are you okay, babe? What's wrong? Here she is. Let's show you to the peoples again, eh? Let's show you off, because you know how proud I am of you. Where are you? Here she is. Here's my girl. Hey, babe. You're a bit close. Am I still magnified? I might still be magnified on this camera. Zoomed in. But there she is. There's my girl. Oh, it's water. Drink of water. And I've just knocked the brightness down. Back up. Okay, back to me. Let's get this finished. Let's get this finished, guys. Let you go. There she is. And she's on her feet and quite stable for once. And she got out of the gap in the doorway without me having to help when she walked through the door. She backed out of it, okay. So yeah, noon, yeah, morning routine, outside but late. Okay, I am basically done. I came in and I started doing my notes for TrampCast. I've shown you these before. They'll be reversed, but there's a full page of the tiniest writing I can do. I like to keep it on one page. But surprisingly, I got all that done in about an hour and a half. I was late to start, but I got it all done in no time. Prepared the thumbnail. I noticed the last 2 weeks, I create the thumbnail. I use the YouTube app. While you're creating the live stream, while you're queuing it up, it allows you to upload the thumbnail directly. You used to have to save the thing, come out, go back in and upload the thumbnail. It offers to do it, but the last 2 weeks it didn't. I clicked to upload and save, and then it didn't use it. And I had to go in after the broadcast and add the proper thumbnail. It just showed that circle with my kind of avatar. This week it appeared to work properly and actually take the image and use it properly. So that was different. But then as I went live, as I clicked to go live, no matter which way I put the camera, it was telling me to adjust the orientation to match the settings for the adjust the orientation for the way that the broadcast was set. So it didn't matter whether I went portrait or landscape. The text overlay was there telling me to adjust it before going live. I couldn't make the thing go away, so I had to back out of the stream and come back in, and I couldn't tell whether I was live or not. It was a real I used to have, you remember on the old phone, I don't know whether it just changed as I was changing phones, or whether it was a problem with the sensor in the old phone. I used to go live, I'd got it set for landscape, but it would make me go portrait. But that stopped when I got this new phone. But then today I had a hiccup again with it. But that was my only battle there. So that's the week as it's been, folks. But upcoming, no real plans. I'm still trying to reorganise and sort things here. But anything that involves bending down or any kind of heavy lifting, my back's still playing up. I'm still swallowing a painkiller or two each day, which is quite minimal by most people's standards. But I hate taking tablets. I've never been a one for medication. I've never been a one for doctors. I think I've been to a doctor twice, maybe 3 times in my adult life. Painkillers are not something I want to get into, even just your normal paracetamol or that's what do you call it over there? Acetaminophen or whatever it is. Or ibuprofen. I don't, even the basic ones like those two, I don't want to be swallowing more than 1 or 2 a day. So only as necessary, which is why I've been putting the hot water bottle around behind my back. But so that's on the cards, arranging things. I might start throwing a few things away as well to clear up, to free up some space. I've got like a chest of drawers here that I'm not using the drawers. I just use the top surface and just crap's piling up on it. You know, maybe throw that away to free up the floor space. Other than that, guys, my only other thing is I was looking through the weather forecasts for the week ahead, and I noticed a couple of days where the wind's going to be 35 kilometers an hour. What's that? 22, 23 maybe, I'm not sure, in miles per hour for the Yanks. One day it's going to hit 40 kilometers an hour. Given the state of my tent, given how it's held in place by being fastened to bottles of water, that's a bit of a worry. But we'll see. There's no real rain on the horizon, just wind, I think, this week. So that's my only worry. Managing power and clouds and things, but it isn't like the weather forecasts were 3 days without sunshine like it had been last week. So yeah, I think we're done, folks. Any questions, comments? Anybody want to say anything? Any chats anybody wants to have? Have I missed anything? Yeah, Scruff's thumbnails go wonky sometimes and don't work. Yeah, I like to go back in the other app, but it's how do you have to do it now? I used to be able to see live streams that were queued, you know, that were set for a future time. I used to be able to see them in the what's the app called? Not the actual YouTube app, the other one, the YouTube. You know, the one for people who do videos, the one for creators. It's named the same as their website. I can't remember it. YouTube, whatever it is. Anyway, you used to be able to see the queued live streams, the ones that were coming up in there, but now you can't. I have to go to my account and go to live streams and then look and then filter for upcoming or scheduled, whatever they call it. It's all a bit of a nightmare to go in and check that the thumbnail's actually in and being used. But that's what I did today, and so it was actually working properly. But that's it for now, folks. Under 2 hours. It was a bit longer than I thought it would be. I thought we were going to be done in about 1 hour and 15, but I managed to prattle on a little longer. With that, folks, I thank you very much. If you haven't already, please consider hitting the thumbs up, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, it's appreciated if you do. It helps you if you are interested in seeing another episode, some of my videos and live streams. You'll get alerts that they're coming, especially if you ring the bell, if you tap the bell icon to set your preferences for alerts. Okay, folks, we will leave in the traditional manner if her ladyship is willing. Tina girl, come here. Tina? No, she's leaving. Hey girl, let me see if I can get her on camera. Tina! I can't see. Where are you? You gone in the bedroom? You're in the doorway facing away from us. Sorry folks, you get her backside. That's the end I get most of the time when we're in bed cuddling. Okay folks, from Tina. And from me, Delta Mike, out. And I missed the click. Awkward moment.